let me repeat again, graphics, right, from AWT, which is we call an instance variables, right, instant variables. G, which is an instant variable of the graphics. Like when you use scanner, you say keyboard. Keyboard is we call instance variables of the scanner. So G is the instant variables of the graphics. So that means the instant variables can have an access to the methods of the graphics. And pretty much technically graphic, you want to draw the line, then you call the method dot draw line. In Java, we like to call methods, but technically it's just a function in math. So let's create a note something about function in math. Let's review our math algebra here. So there's a topic we call function. So let's review. We have f of x, right? So that's a function. So x, in this case, x, we call x is a parameter. Now if the function say x plus 1, in this case, if I want to say what is the value of f2, in this case 2 is an argument. Okay, so argument technically very similar to parameter. Argument is the values, right? Parameter is the variables, right? That doesn't have the value yet. So when we put arguments to the function 2, then we returns the result as 3. So we get the result out, right? Function, we happen to know the implementation, right? Like in the concept of programming, same, I have a function called draw line, but we don't see how it's being implemented. When I say being implemented means like function implement x plus 1, the expression. Like draw line, I don't see the expression. Okay, but I know that if I pass 2 into my function, I will get the result. Now then I better name my function as increase. This is a name, right? Increase by 1. So if I name increase by 1 when I pass 2, I know that I will always get what? 3. I don't have to know the implementation of it. Same draw line. I know that if I pass some parameters in, it's going to draw the line for me. I don't have to worry about how it's being implemented. Right? So that's why I say, okay, inside the graphics, I have the function called draw line. Or in Java, we call method, right? Now the key is, you just need to know what it is. Like in this case, it's easy because we have one value, right? Increment. But sometimes, you know, in math, we can have more than one parameter, right? We can have 2, 3, 4, and so on. Like if you happen to know the implementation, then if I pass in the arguments, the answer is going to be 5, right? Which I can rename this to sum. You pretty much understand, right? Where you don't have to know the implementation, right? So if I say sum 5, 5, 5, 6, so you know it's going to be 11. Same when I say draw line. You just need to know that the first part is the coordinates, right? X and Y. Starting point of your line, which is 0, 0 at that point. At the top left of the screen, we call 0, 0, like there. of the windows, right? So the size, width, and height. Okay, so pretty much just if you want to do where you want to go, actually this is just two coordinates, starting point and ending point of the line. But this program happen to, when you do get size, it's happen pretty much just get the size of the windows for you, the width and the height. So that's why I just draw the diagonals, right, from the top left to bottom right. That's what it is. Okay, so to draw a line, you just need to starting point and ending point. Now let's see if we want to implement our simple Java applet here. So switch back to our VI, right? So I need to change this to paint. Okay. Right. And I need to import two packages, right? So let's import. This one, I'm going to show you the new one, which is javax.swing.japplet. And another one is import java.awt.graphics. Now, it's better to put exact class name that you try to import instead of using asterisks. Okay, so I like to do that. Extends japplet because we import japplet. And like I said, this is just instance name. Instead of G, I call canvas. It just represents a screen that you try to draw something on. That's why I call canvas. So canvas dot draw line. And draw line, we know the starting point. Like now, I could say, okay, let's start somewhere like 1010. And ending point, we draw it to 100 and 100. Okay, just test with that. So this program pretty much done. What we need to do is just how to use VI again to save the file. So we are on the editor mode. We need to hit escape key on your keyboard. And you see after I hit escape, it's just exit off the insert or editor mode, right? Now you can type the command, which is start with colon, W stand for write, Q stand for quit, exclamation mark. So you can save the file and exit. Now we need to compile using JavaC. First check JavaC is not there, right? So if JavaC is not there, we need to set path, right? But in Unix, set path, I think it's export, right? And path equals to $path. Okay, so let me just verify that too. Now the command path equals to $path colon, and quotation inside that is the location where you have your JDK install, right? So let's switch back. So path caps, make sure it's exactly the same, no spaces, colon, and then C program files Java. It has to be exact the same. JDK 1.80_65. Is it 8.0? Okay. And then /bin. So that's where we have that. Let's test type JavaC. Okay, works now, right? Now we can start to compile javac followed by the file name. If there's an error, it's going to show no errors. Alright, so when there's no errors, if ls, it should create .class for me. And this is the key. .class is the one we want to use that to embed into HTML code. Now let's review our VI command first, okay, before we go to look at HTML. We know we compiled it already. So some of the VI command that we learned so far, we learned the WQ, right? So write and quit. So let's test with X and Q here, okay? Now we're going to go back into the program, right? So why do I do tab? Why I do tab is going to, when I start with M and tab, it's going to pretty much just appending the rest of the file name for me. I don't have to type one by one. And let me do some modification. Let's say I'm going to change this to 150. So to change this, you need to go into the mode I, right? Insert and start to make change. Move your cursor. Okay. And now escape. So what I'm going to do just colon X enter. So that exit, right? Now we go back. It did save for you. It's just like WQ exclamation mark. But you just do colon X, that's it. Now let me change this to 155. Okay. And 155. Again, I'm going to escape and do just Q. You see that? It's going to warn you, no write, because I do just colon Q. Right? Do you want to add exclamation mark to overwrite? Right? Okay. To exit from the warning, you're going to click Control and hold that and click C. Okay. Now it's going to type quit, enter to exit Vim. What I'm going to do, I'm going to say colon again. Right. And this time I'm going to do Q. If I do Q exclamation mark, enter. Let's see if it's going to overwrite for me. No. See that? So that's why when you use Q, you're going to lose the change of your file. So you should do colon X or colon WQ, right? So let's test again. Now this time I'm going to see if it's really require me to put the exclamation mark at the end. So I'm going to change to 155 again, escape, colon WQ. Okay, so I didn't put exclamation mark at the end, and it still works. So you see that? So follow this, you pretty much don't need the exclamation mark at the end. Okay, but when you quit, you will need that, and it's not going to overwrite it. And these are more commands, okay, like how do you move, okay, like up, down. Normally now you have the arrow keys, you just use that, right? Okay. But for instance, you know, when you get into the server, VI is very useful because you don't have keyboards that have the up and down. You may see the older version of keyboard, smaller version. You don't have that. They have to use